little chats for every week for an hour. I'm trying to get as many people as I can, inviting people on Facebook and stuff. So there's gonna be
Yeah.
more people, and then we have a meeting on Monday with with
Oh yeah, yeah. I want to
special
see that.
guests. So he's gonna be
Yeah.
breaking things down. And if it's only like three or four of us, that'll be great because then he can answer as much questions as he can. So it's like awesome, for everybody, and he'll answer
Definitely.
all the questions for you guys. so
No, I'm looking forward to that. I'll start writing some down for him.
yeah, of course, do it.
That's great, man. Yeah, thanks for doing all this. I appreciate
Yeah, of
the
course.
info, and I'll be back next time. And good luck today, and hope things
Yeah,
go great for
you
you.
too, man. Yeah, make one step a
Okay.
day, dude. Just one phone call.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, you
It's
got
been
it.
working. So
All right,
okay. See
Parker.
you, Derek.
Have a nice one. Bye. All right. Trying to get people on here. I don't know if you can read this, but what's up, chat? What's up, YouTube chat? Hopefully, everybody's having a good Monday. We're gonna get things going. We're gonna start talking about subject two and what subject two is. So, subject two has been around for a long time. Subject two has been around longer than you actually would think. And actually, subject two is a really good way for someone who's having a hard time trying to get trying to sell a property where it needs basically it has no equity in their property. So the property needs a lot of work, or it needs no work, and it has equity, like $1,000 or something, right? So if they were to try and sell it on the market, there'd be no way for them to sell it and make any type of money or profit or anything, because if you're a seller, homeowner, obviously you want to make money when you're selling your property, right? So this is a good way to sell a property to someone, but there is some contractual agreements that you have to have with the seller, that has to make sense for everybody on these deals. So if you have to work with, like, come across watching or come across like seeing a deal where it needs work, and or if it has hardly any equity, subject to deal is a really way. And so what is subject to? Subject to, basically, here, let's put it this way. Subject to is you're getting the property under a deed, like, so you'll have a grant deed to you. So there's two deeds, right? There's a deed of trust, which the deed of trust is connected to the mortgage, and then there's a grant deed. So the grant deed is what says the property is under your name, like who owns that property. So the seller's name is under their property, but then you have the grant deed, correct? So you need to separate those two. Think of it that way. Don't think of it as like these two are connected. That's not true. there's two ways to purchase. There's when you purchase a property conventionally, or when you purchase it in like with FHA loan, they're going to want you to have both of these deeds in your name and completely cleared. So the grant deed means the past payments or the past mortgages of that property has to be sold, like basically sold off, because that's what the note says. But also, if you're purchasing a subject to, if you're buying a property subject to, you're buying the property subject to the existing trust, deed of trust, with, you know, still intact with the seller, with the seller's name. And then you got also you have a grant deed, which would be under your name, and so you have contract, you have rights with that house. That house is under your name. You're going to start paying the taxes for that property. You're going to have to either get an insurance for that property as well. You're going to have to do all of that to put it, basically you have control of that property. So the reason why people like myself or investors want to purchase these type of properties is because I don't have to go all in with all my money to buy a house. All I have to go in to purchase this property is how much the seller is looking for on the property. So if they're looking like for $5,000 to take over the deed on the property and keep the grant deed under their name, which they're open to doing, because obviously they just can't handle the payments, or there's some situation going on with themselves that they can't handle, and so they have to let go of the property. You can come in and help them out. You give them $5,000 and they can ultimately walk away with the property, or walk away from the property, and you start making the payments of the property. So the reason why we do this as investors is because we don't have to go all in, and we'll have enough money and on our side to fix up the property, or just begin renting out the property and start cash flowing on the property right away. A lot of properties, like I bought a property, for example, here in Reading, where we gave the seller $5,000, and that $5,000 actually went towards his son moving out of the house, and basically for him to find his own place and do whatever. He actually needed to sell this property because the city was giving them code violations. They were going to start charging him $900 a day for having just this property that's been sitting down, sitting with it needed a lot of work. So it's, dilapidated house, a distressed property. So we gave him $5,000. He put the property under a name. We're starting to make payments on it. So we pay around $1,400 a month for this property. That's the mortgage payments that's owed on it. There's the principal, interest, and taxes is also paid in that loan as well, so we don't have to worry about anything else on the property. Also, since we're making those payments, the equity is getting bigger, right? You're buying down the principal balance of the mortgage, and it's getting that, equity is growing. I don't know about depreciation and all that stuff, but here in California, values of houses tend to go up in value every year. So let's say if you work something out with the seller where you don't have to, they don't give you an expiration date on paying off that mortgage, and them agreeing okay, well, you can do subject to deals, we can do subject to, but you got to pay this off in 10 years. For us on this deal, we're writing it out. We're making this payments until maturity date, which is going to be in 2038. So we still got 15 years for this mortgage to pay off. And by that time, we already have the property fixed up. Obviously, we're going to have it fixed up, rented out. The value of that property is going to be much higher than what we've already got it for. under contract. So all of this stuff basically is going to make it easier for us, right? Well, as soon as we got we got $60,000 from our lender who are helping us fix up this property, and we're just gonna fix up the property, and when we're done, we're gonna start renting it out, and that rental payment is going to pay off the mortgage company, the mortgage that's owed on it, and it's going to pay off the lender that we owe. So what we can do in a year from now is refinance out of this property, and hopefully if the interest rates go down a lot more, we'll have a good mortgage on it. So when we refinance out, the property will be in really excellent shape, and most likely we can pay off the mortgage. We can also get our money back, pay off the lender that gave us the money for construction costs, and then also we make money as well. So that's ultimate goal of why people do subject to. A lot of subject to deals tend to always get refinanced because there's equity in these properties in 5, 6, 7 years from now. So they don't always just stay in place with until 2038. Obviously, we want to pull equity out so we can buy another property, right? Cash out the seller on their end on how much they needed to as well, if they wanted money up at the end when we sell the property. That's the type of deals why people do subject to, as opposed to like a fix and flip deal. You're actually just buying a property and all cash, paying $200,000 right up front. You're paying all this interest fees because you got a lender to give you $200,000, and you're like so over your head already before you even fix up the property. So it really does make sense to do like a subject to deal if the seller is willing to work with you on it. So not all deals qualify for a subject to. Let's see here. I want to see if anybody's asking questions on here. Let's see here. Hope everyone's having a good Tuesday. Everything. We're moving along. We opened escrow today on assignment flip, and we are also hopefully closing on a subject to assignment. So I got a property under subject to. It was great numbers. The numbers on it were great, but I'm assigning the deal to my end buyer because we just basically I have 4 properties I'm fixing up right now. I do not have time to go and fix up another property, so I'm assigning my contract to another end buyer for $10,000, and I'm gonna make $10,000. So that's what we are working on right now. I do have another property I'm assigning. It's a fix and flip and everything else. So basically, yeah, things are moving along. We have we have about 45 grand in escrow right now that we're hoping to close up before the end of the month. Be able to move on with our marketing and business and keep things moving. I did have a good weekend. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend and is enjoying enjoyed their weekend. MLK Day, we went snowboarding, had family we had dinner on Friday with family, and then Saturday we went snowboarding. We came back home because we're only about an hour away from the mountain, from the resort, thankfully, and then we drove back on Sunday or yesterday, and so I'm completely sore. I'm a little torn up from snowboarding, having too much fun, but we gotta be there. We gotta be accountable. We gotta make sure everything in the business is going smoothly. So we want to break down. Today I wanted to talk more about subject two because I think subject two is a really good exit strategy for it's well not necessarily exit because you're still going to be vested in the mortgage payments and the deal, but it's a good way to as an investor to purchase properties. So if you're an investor out there and you're looking for properties like this subject to, send me a message. You can find me anywhere. Just look up my name, Derek Torculus on Instagram or Derek Torque. You can find me on Facebook. It's Derek Torculus. All of that good stuff. If you can imagine this, if you can buy your first house like subject to and you only put down 10 grand, to buy a house as opposed to putting it and buying a property conventionally, and you're paying whatever the interest rates are right now, you're going to be paying a lot more most likely, because if you find a property subject to with great rates, you're locked into that great rate as opposed to, like let's say the rate's at 2.1%, right? And you're making $800 payments, and you can rent it out for $1,700, right? If you actually put this if you actually start renting it out and it's rent ready, you can start cash flowing right away, and that cash flow will make the payments for everything with the mortgage payments, insurance, PITI, everything else. And if you can cash flow $300 or $400, $500 a month on top of that, that's such a home run deal. Like, I don't see why anybody would want to not do that type of deal. The responsibility on it with the subject to, it's in both hand. It's in your hand ultimately, right? You always have a servicing company to make the payments for you. You don't want to have the seller make the payments themselves towards the mortgage payment. You always set up a servicing company, like a rental company. Those people who handle rentals and things like that, and you could find a specialized company like that I know of that works with me for my subject to properties. They will make the payments for you. So technically it's you are making the payments, it's your management company that's making payments. And that basically helps with showing who legality wise is making the payments on that property, and it's not just a new owner, it's actually just a mortgage company that's making the payments, or a management company, right? So subject to is, I don't know how long it can go on about talking about subject to, but like, if anybody has questions, send me a message. I can answer it for you on what I've gone through with subject to, and what is also like what you need from the seller to put on the table, so you can take a look at and make sure it's a good deal. I can help you out with that. I have a Discord group. It's right here. It's called the Trust Group. Hopefully you're just watching and listening into my rants and what I'm talking about here. We are going to have a lot more people talking here soon, and it's just going to be an all-around good Discord group. I keep this as accountability page, as something to show myself that I can do this, and I'm here every day making sure that these deals are going to be closing, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be closing deals with people in the group. And there's agents, there's investors in there already flipping or wholesaling houses. There's flippers in there, and we're just trying to make it a lively group and a wholesome group where we can work together on things. And our first guest is going to be next week. Let's see here. our first guest is Mr. Where is it? Where is he at? Let's see our first guest. It's on the, I think on the 22nd. Yeah. Mr. Matt Larson. Is it on the 22nd? Maybe it's on Wednesday, actually. So it might be a little later than that. Mr. Matt Larson, he's a great guy. He has the mindset of a winner. He's had businesses. He's had his own business. He has a business where he actually, instead of working at a home or buying stuff from a Home Depot for fix and flips, he actually created his own business to purchase material and supplies. He actually created a shop, so then his business can purchase those supplies at wholesale price, and while he's flipping these properties, so he can get better deals, right? So he's closed hundreds of deals. He owns hundreds of rentals. He's going to be one of our first people in the group where he can be talking, and you can be asking questions, and he'll answer them for you. So this group is going to be a big group, and I know it. I got that feeling. It's going to be great. I'm excited. This is not, you will be a force to be reckoned with soon, right? This is going to be awesome. All right, you guys. So, what else? If you guys have any questions, send me a message. I think the best way is to just message me on Instagram, Facebook, and I'll answer them for you. But we can also go break down a lot more every day. This is like accountability calls. So every day we're gonna have accountability calls from 9 to 10 o'clock, and it's just me either ranting or with other people in the groups talking about what wholesaling, investing, how to find your next deal, how to make cold calls. We'll be doing cold call, like random cold call lives and stuff like that. So just make sure to follow us. All right. So I'm going to be heading out. Hopefully you guys, helped you out a little bit, a quick synopsis of what whole subject twos are and how you can find your first subject to deal. I have contracts I can provide you. I have everything under the sun to help you out with what I have. A TC transaction coordinator for subject to deals. I have a management company that I can point you to. I know how I can negotiate for you on the deal if you're having struggles with closing the deal. And I'm not charging for any of this. I'm doing this out of what I want to do, like for the kindness, not the kindness of my heart, because I want us to succeed, right? I want this to be something for all of us to become successful in this group on. So I might charge later, but I'm not charging now. That's for sure. That's just because I want people to show, I want to provide as much quality content as I can first before I go and charge people and stuff like that. It's just ridiculous. I want to prove to people that I know what I'm saying and I know what I'm doing, right? So, all right, you guys, take care. Hopefully everyone has a good Tuesday, and it's going to attack it out there, get some deals, make it happen.